Okay, my friends, here it is. The Monday morning live stream at the Thrive Like a Viking headquarters. Coming to you from the cave studio upstairs. Let me know how the sound is sounding. Can you hear everything? Yeah, so I heard you guys talking about some Ryan Hall, y'all. Watching Ryan Hall, the weather forecaster. And man, I hope he's not getting a little too clickbaity, as all content creators seem to have to do these days. But serious winter storms are approaching and they're coming, and we just have this little dusting of snow. It's nothing. I mean, it's nothing. It really isn't. And the temps are in the 20s. It's not even cold. So, but thankfully it's cold enough to have a nice thick layer of ice on the ice bath outside, thick enough to take the sledgehammer to in order to bust it up. So, I can't complain. So let's see who's here. Taida Henna, yes, got those beautiful henna designs. Good morning. Brian Eri, of course. Hello, my friend. Val, good morning. Yes, don't worry about those walking onions. They will be absolutely fine. Maybe give them a good dose of water every once a month. Silver Sage, good morning, my friend. Andre Puskas, hello. Creative Soil, what's up, my friend? Grandma Zoo, all right. Hello from South Carolina, yes. Hello from Indiana. Lucia Bora, hello from the Netherlands. Lots of love for everyone. Ms. T from Texas, hello, my friend. Okay, guys, so let me know, what are some things in the that you are planning on doing in the new year. Okay, so you know how it's tradition that, oh well, we're going to make New Year's resolutions, which we talked about last time. But I would just like to touch base with everyone again and tell you the basic knowledge, the in-depth understanding that I have of the psychology of how this happens, of how habit patterns can be changed, of how you can radically change your life if you want, or you can fine-tune your life. You don't have to radically change everything, but you definitely can fine-tune your life for sure. You can adjust the sails a little bit. You don't have to totally change course completely, but it's always a process of refinement. Yes. And so in that, I have found a handful of extraordinarily helpful tools that can go into the psyche and reprogram the mind, okay? And therefore the behavior. So we will talk about that stuff after the meditation. Just want to see who's here, see what you guys are up to. If you are watching this after the fact, let us know what are some things that you would like to change about your life this year, okay? And now it's perfectly acceptable that you could say, actually, everything's going wonderful, amazing. And that's what I would say, for my own life. And so you don't need like a big change, big radical change, but what are some things you would like to fine tune or improve upon? What are some things you would like to distill? Yeah, we can use this terminology. You have the base material and then you distill it into its essence, like this amazing, delicious bottle of frankincense. You take and distill it, into its essence. Goodness, guys, that is, if heaven had a scent, I think it would have to be this. So we would distill our practices, distill our life, and just keep fine-tuning. Yeah. And so, oh my gosh, Silver Sage, congratulations. Says we had our baby yesterday at home. We decided to go to the hospital after. The cord was wrapped around baby Andrew. His dad delivered him. Labor was 2.5 hours. He's doing great. No meds. I'm good. That is amazing. That is wonderful to hear. No meds at home. That's Viking. That's pretty Viking. So well done. Well done, my friend. And that is awesome. So glad to hear that the baby is healthy. And what a golden opportunity for an amazing year. Yeah. And I know with a conscious mother such as you, that the baby's going to interpret the right program from the years 0 to 7 is so incredibly important. Yes, to interpret, to instill into that being, that still developing ego mind, the right program. Oh my goodness. if I was ever, if someday in the future, if I was ever going to be like a foster parent, I would want to foster 0 to 7, to give them just the best possible chance. So it's very important. So you have a wonderful opportunity, and we're delighted with you, my friend. Jody K, hello from Minnesota. What's up? Is there snow there? Is that a silly question? So Lucia Bora says, my goal for this year is leaving my shame. Be proud of myself. Love me more. Yes, definitely. We can discuss this. We can talk about this one for sure. This is a really good one. This is actually really a core principle, because so many people don't actually love themselves. They think that they do. They have egoic type love for themselves or narcissistic type love, but not actual compassionate, unconditional love for themselves. And so they're always trying to find confirmation that they're worthy of love somewhere else. And this is a core driver of so many habits and things that we see in people's lives, and they have no idea. They have no idea that these programs are operating underneath the surface. Okay? Over the years, hopefully you've studied and followed like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Bruce Lipton, yes, and you've learned about the subconscious mind, and you've learned about the epigenetics, yes. Dr. Caroline Leaf, research her and learn about the dendrites, yes, how we will form new synaptic connections. Our whole life is possible, so we can literally retrain the program by which everything else runs. Yeah. So we will get into that after the meditation. Okay. Look at all those congratulations for Silver Sage. Of course. That's awesome. Yes. Yes. Okay, guys. Let us get into the meditative state of mind. We are going to meditate for just a brief 5 to 10 minutes. We'll see what the energy is feeling. But this is the practice, guys. This is all it takes to do this daily or even several times a day. But daily would be wonderful. Make it a practice. All right? So together, let us take 3 deep conscious breaths in the new year. First breaths of the new year. Hold. Let it go. Fully in. Hold. Let it go. Last one. Fill the lungs deeply as you can. Hold. Let it go. Now, as you sit with your spine straight, your eyes gently closed, with each breath, bring your attention deeper and deeper into the now. You are always in the now. Never forget that. You can never leave the now, but your attention appears like it is broken into segments. So for now, until that delusion evaporates for you, it is best to bring your attention back to the now. And to do that, we will use something that is always with us, never leaves us, and that is the breath. From the moment we are born to the moment we pass, we are breathing. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. Empty the mind. There's no need to think of anything in particular. Just allow the moment to be exactly as it wants to be. The mind is relaxed. The body is alert but relaxed. Feel the body as it breathes. Feel the subtle whisper of air as it flows past your nostrils and into your body. Feel the lungs expand and contract. Simultaneously, you are aware of the pressure of gravity holding you to the earth. You're aware of your heartbeat. You can feel the blood as it circulates the life force, the prana. You inhale the prana, circulates, charges the body. You exhale the waste. The waste which is actually food for the earth, the life support system that sustains us. When you exhale, the trees and the plants and the ocean, the phytoplankton, they absorb that and they release to you what you need, the oxygen. Remain focused. Do not allow your mind to wander away. We are retraining the mind. So if your mind is very agitated or fractured, this is natural in the beginning. Don't become frustrated with yourself. That only compounds the agitation. Instead, smile, a compassionate smile towards the ego mind. The ego mind is like a toddler. You just smile and correct it. Many of you by now, the mind has become still. You are the observer. Whatever is coming into your field of awareness, you are observing it, but it is not you. The disassociation has already taken place, and you understand directly. None of what your five senses are telling you is actually what you are or who you are. Observe them. Observe how your mind has become still, serene, content, joyful. Your body has become relaxed. There's a smile in your mind. Whatever comes into your field of awareness, you are able to observe it. You are able to observe it without becoming involved, without becoming invested in the storyline. Just observe. Many of you may be at the stage where, when your mind has become still and quiet and your body has become relaxed, you feel an intense sense of aliveness, like electricity. At first you feel it pulsating through the body, but after some time, you will feel it pulsating through everything, through life itself. You will realize directly you are not in the world. The world is in you. Together, let us take 3 deep conscious breaths, breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Again, fill the lungs. Hold. Let it go. Last one, breathe deeply as you can. Hold. Hold. Let it go. When we many of you, and I don't know this directly, but I know this from the feeling, the sensation that I get. I know it, that many of you are reaching what we would conventionally call different levels of a meditation practice, because several of you have taken this and it has become a part of your life and you're regularly practicing, in which case you will experience, for lack of a better term, different levels of the meditation. Although, of course, there are no levels, because what is actually happening is not me conveying some kind of teaching that you then have to follow, and then you have to understand it. And then once you understand more, then you will eventually get to some point where you understand enough to awaken. That's actually the opposite of how it happens. That's actually not at all the case. There is no teaching. There is none. So there's no path. If I told you to stand up right now and take one step towards yourself, how would you do it? You're already there. You're already yourself. So the only thing that is happening is the uncovering of all of the distractions, the delusions of stress, the delusions of the storyline, what Eckhart Tolle calls your life situation. Yeah, you don't have a life. He says you don't have a life. You are life. You don't have a life. You have a life situation. And so the only practice is getting all of this out of the way, getting all of these limiting belief systems, and realizing that beliefs are actually what they contract energy, and they appear to block the wonderful vibrance of being alive. They block the peace and the joy that is your birthright, that is your natural state. It blocks that. And it makes us focus. The more contracted our energy is, the more focused on little tiny things, insignificant little things, the more labels that we have, the more labels we put on ourselves. uh, the less we are feeling this intense sense of aliveness. But I'm saying this because some of you will reach a point where you will begin to you you will drop into the meditation and your mind will silent. Your mind will remain silent and you will immediately feel intensely alive. You'll get to the point where there's almost waves of euphoria coming because your body and your mind, your brain, heart, resonance is open. Everything is open and it's flowing through you. Your toroidal energy field is flowing. There's not a bunch of contracted blockages and traumas and things. You've released all of that. You don't have to understand any more than you understand right now. You have to release. You have to surrender. That's the only thing that matters. And then what was already there will flow. It will flow through you. And you will become a light of the world. Because there is only one light. The same light. And people will become helpful to you. Situations will become pleasant. Life will not be your enemy anymore. Depression will be a thing of the past. Self-destructive habits will be a thing of the past. Getting taken advantage of and building resentment in your relationships and all of this, that will all be a thing of the past. Because you'll be intuitively guided by the ultimate infinite spirit goes before you and opens the way. And you'll never think, oh, did I say the right thing? Should I have said? Infinite wisdom tells you what to do and what to say. This is not a figure of speech. So, in this new year, if we want to fine-tune our life, like I was talking about before the meditation, then we need to essentially brainwash ourselves. Now, that has become a very loaded term. I know that. Brainwash. Ooh, but what is it really? It's essentially just going into the subconscious mind. And so if I made some videos, I think, I made some videos on this channel that I probably still have. You know, I deleted lots of videos over the years on this channel, but which I almost wish I wouldn't have now. But I was, when I was coming back from the mountains and stuff, and I was living a life of pure destruction, basically at that point towards the end. And I needed to radically change every single thing about my life. So I was led to these tools and these practices and these books. And once I set that commitment, it began all coming in. All the knowledge began coming in, all the right book, the right person, the right interaction, all that stuff began just happening. And the practices of going into the subconscious mind is exactly what brought me out of all of that. And it is like brainwashing yourself. It's actually very simple. That when you understand when you understand that the subconscious mind is what guides your life, you think that it's your conscious mind. You think that, oh, I am thinking and that I am directing my thoughts and my life. But listen, can you choose your next thought even? Can you even choose consciously your next thought? Try it. Now, a lot of you will go, well, of course I can. My next thought is about coffee. Okay? But once you get your mind to a point where you can become silent and introspective enough, you will be able to see that that's not actually the case. You didn't choose that thought. All that happened was that a thought arises and you're aware of it at that moment. Your next thought is that I chose that, but that's just another thought. You cannot choose your next thought. Examine that. This is not just crazy, literally during your next meditation. If you don't know what I'm talking about right now, during your next meditation, sit there. And if you've gotten to the point where Your mind has become still enough where you can see each thought as it arises, not after you're already 5 minutes into some storyline of daydreaming and well, whoops, that's right, I was supposed to be meditating. Just keep practicing the breathing. That's all you need to do at that point. But there will come a point when, like Andre says here, when I enter meditation, my mind and thoughts reach into nothingness, just darkness, and I focus on feeling my breathing and body. Yes. Many of you will be able to feel that, and then you will sense, you will be able to see literally from the nothingness how a thought arises. And it arises from the nothingness. Poof! And you're aware of the thought. But you cannot choose your next thought. Try it. And if you think you have, let's talk. Yeah. So you will see that all you can do is be aware that a thought is present at this moment. That's all you can do, consciously. So where are the thoughts coming from? What says what my next thought, my next desire, what is it going to be? It is coming from an infinite pool of subconscious energy. What we're calling subconscious energy. We could call it the ether as well. We could call it, the mind of God. We could call it many different things. And they have over the years, depending on the particular cultural setting that teaching was in. But it's all the same thing. And so it comes. A good book is The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. Yeah, The Science of Mind. So it was written in the 30s. Try and get an original copy so that you know nothing's been changed. I have original copy. It can help point the way, but then you directly experience these things. And so you will see, okay, well, where is the thought coming from? From the subconscious. The subconscious dominates your entire life. Your thinking mind is only, Dr. Joe Dispenza will say, Dr. Bruce Lipton will say, I will also say from my experience, 5% of your life is determined by the conscious thinking mind. The other 95% is determined by the subconscious mind. Meaning, what do we mean by the subconscious? We mean the mind that is below our conscious awareness, our conscious threshold. When we're doing the meditation and we're very conscious, yes, and aware of everything that is happening, every thought, everything is happening, there's a enormous ocean of subconscious energy that all exist now. It all exists right now at the same time. A thought will come. The next thought. The next thought. And that thought snowballs into a feeling, into an emotion, an energy in motion, and then into a belief eventually. So we can see then it all comes down to examining ourself, utilizing this instrument as a framework to penetrate into the depth of reality, of your mind, of the way it works. And only once you start to actually practice this and you see it yourself, will you, then you become convinced. Because then, whoa, you see it's actually working. And that this is actually how it is. And then it blows your mind how easy it is to program the human mind. It's so easy to program the human mind. The unconscious human mind. Once you become fully conscious, then it's game. Then it can't be. You still can, but you don't allow yourself to be in those situations that will program you. Okay? So, for example, you don't have a television on all the time. You're not listening to the radio with commercials. You have YouTube Premium. You're not letting any advertisements, that repetition, all of that. You don't look at magazines and watch the Kardashian stuff. You don't do any of that kind of stuff because you're awake now. And you see that all of that is just programming. You don't even listen to mainstream music because you see that is also programming. This is not big conspiracy theory. You just see it plain as day. And so no, I'm good. I don't want your conditioning. I don't want you to stencil your own agenda into my mind. I will stencil my own agenda into my own mind. How about that? Then you have like the ultimate power. Then it's amazing because you can say, all right, well, look at how they're brainwashing everybody through repetition, through media, through social media, through the algorithms everywhere. Billboards, drive down the highway and just billboards, billboards, then the radio, and then magazines and all that. Repetition. And it's all designed to create an image in your mind. Remember that the human brain stores information as images. Not, we think it's just thoughts. If you examine it, you will see this as well. It all comes down to examining. When you examine your own mind, you will see that the information is stored in the human mind as images. This is why television is such an unbelievable tool. And for example, the Nazis recognized this immense power of propaganda, of being able to display these images to the masses through repetition. They thought it's a direct link into the mind of the people, and it literally is. And so it is like a hardwired into the mind, what we are seeing, the images. Not just that, but what we are hearing, the music creates a mental image. That's all. That's what's important, is that the image becomes into the mind. Okay, so that's why advertisers will show, a situation. They want you to imagine yourself in your mind being that, driving this car, these four-wheel drive cars, these $75,000, $100,000 SUVs in America, and they're burning around a big turn, taking it in snow and everything, and they're just, and the woman's in the passenger seat going, oh, whoa, whoa. She's all thrilled by the man. He's sitting there, brum, brum. And it's all by design, because they want you not to consciously think, wow, that could be me. They're speaking to your subconscious. They want to show you that enough times and in enough different ways for that to become your mental image. So that then you will say, you know what? I really like that new Porsche SUV. Oh yeah, why? Well, and then you'll come up with different reasons, but the reason is because it's been implanted in your mind to like it. Or whatever your like or desire in the unconscious state, whatever you think it is, it's been implanted in there. Yes? This is how it works. And you can see, study behavioral engineering, study marketing, visual marketing, just different over the years. And you will see that it all comes down to creating the image in the mind. Okay. So Teets says, "Oh no, Nate is telling me to stop listening to my music. That's how I know I need this channel, and it is good for me. I need to make some changes." Okay, well, if you feel that, if you know in your heart, if you're saying that, then you need to. Okay, if you're already to the point where you're seeking out something like this channel, a long form, flow of consciousness, this kind of thing, then you are definitely ready for that. And so what we're saying about the music is that, and again, you have to get yourself to a point where you can see this and experience it. You don't have to take my word for it. You experience it yourself. That the music is designed to elicit feelings, to create feelings and mental images in you. Yes. Mainstream music is a very powerful tool of controlling the masses. Absolutely. Of creating the suicidal consumer culture, of creating heartache and longing. They want to create that longing, that sense of dissatisfaction. Think of how much music can pull you into feeling. This is what they want. They want you to feel this way and to create, and it ultimately consumes your life force energy. This is what it boils down to. Once music divulged from being from being a reflection of the harmonious sounds and patterns and cycles of nature, meaning basically classical music, or instrumental type music, or folk type music. So once it divulged from that into what we have today, you can rest assured it is absolutely a tool, and you will feel it. You will feel it. So yes, if you, in this new year, if you want to make changes, the number one thing you got to do is cut off the sources of programming that you are receiving. So you are probably unaware that you're receiving this. But that's the number one thing, unfortunately. And this can be difficult. Many people, and I don't know about you exactly, but many people are so inured with it, are so on the drip feed of the programming, that they will feel withdrawal symptoms, literal withdrawals from the cessation of their programming. Yeah. And they will fight for their programming. Many people, and I know this because many people will hear this message here and fight for their captors. They will fight for their masters, meaning they will explain the reasons that, no, some good television, I like to watch my shows, and I know that it's all staged. I know that it's all fake, and that doesn't matter. The subconscious mind does not know the difference. So you will hear people, and I have heard many people try defend their slavery. And in which case, okay, you're not ready. Then that's fine. Perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter if you awaken or not. It doesn't matter. But some of us there's an insatiable drive to awaken. Because we know that what we're being given is not what life is about. Yeah. And so Teets, it's not so much about, okay, jazz with no lyrics. Yeah, it's about the yes. I mean, you will see at first it's good to cut off all of it. I went through a purification period where I had to cut off anything that was not directly programming me, because I had to brainwash myself. I'm telling you, man, I was addicted to all kinds of stuff. Okay. Many of you have heard this. I was smoking Lucky Strike cigarettes, unfiltered Lucky Strikes. Okay. And drinking all the time. I mean, just a mess. Okay. And trying for several years to stop. And I just couldn't. Because the image in my mind was that of an addict. I was in the AA programs and went to rehab and all this stuff. None of it worked. It just got worse, because the image in my mind had become that I'm an alcoholic, that I'm an addict. And you even go to the meetings. Hi, I'm Nate. I'm an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. Hi, I'm an addict. Hi. And they're all like, hi, addict. Like, oh, okay. So the subconscious mind takes hold and says, well, that's what I am. That's what I'm going to be then. If I'm an addict, I'm going to be an addict. And so it got so unbearable to almost brought me to the point of death. I mean, seriously, several times. Most people never come back from that. Okay. Many of my friends are dead. And so the thing that I had to do was I had to cut it all off, and I had to reprogram the image in my mind. I'm not an addict. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm none of those things. Absolutely none of those things. But you can't just say that a couple of times. You have to reprogram yourself. You have to, it's all about repetition, visual imagery. Okay, I've made videos years ago of the techniques that I used to come out of that. And this is how I know beyond any doubt that it works. So nobody else in that whole community that I was a part of and stuff, that were all doing the same thing, nobody else got out alive. Nobody else got out. The practices are what did it. And so uh, it, I got addicted to programming myself. I got addicted to improvement. So I understood that repetition is the key. And so I just intuitively knew this. And so I would make recordings, thankfulness, gratitude recordings. I just start with gratitude recordings. Okay. And make a list of all the things you're grateful for in a very simple terms. I am grateful for a beautiful smile. I am grateful for robust health. I am grateful for a strong physical body. I am grateful for fresh vegetables. I am grateful for sunshine. I am grateful for clean, pure water. I am grateful for the loving embrace of my family. I am grateful to be alive. Like this. And then put it on repeat as you go to sleep. Put it on repeat as you go to sleep. Put it into headphones and put it on repeat as you go to sleep. That's the time when you will brainwash yourself. Now, many of you will think, isn't that a little extreme, Nate? I would have never done any of that if I was not fighting for my life. If it was not a life or death situation, I would have never done any of that. So most people will never get to that point. So they'll just, I don't know, I'll put a little sticky note here and there. I don't know, affirmations. I don't know. Most people just aren't motivated. They're not inspired to do it. So if you do it, it works. And it took me like a full year of those practices. And I was like living in hotels and stuff and didn't want to be around anybody. It was horrible. But at the same time, it was like a chrysalis. It was a cocoon that I had to go through in order to emerge this entirely different incarnation. Totally different incarnation. Till now, I mean, all of it. I dropped all of it all at once. The lucky strikes and stuff make even the thought of having a single drink or anything, it gives me shivers and it makes me want to vomit. I mean, seriously, that's how deep it's gone. To this incarnation is repulsed by any of that kind of stuff. Would never even consider a mind or mood altering substance. For what? I have perfect clarity. I'm perfect clarity. Why would you ever jeopardize that? It doesn't even make sense to me. I remember the old life, but more like a movie that I had watched. That's how deep it will go. You will hypnotize yourself. And you'll be able to change anything you want about your life if you're inspired, if you're motivated enough to do it. I am living proof of that. I know this for a fact. Yes, Creative Soul says, Jesus said, be in this world, but not of it, and that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, meaning live in the present. If religion told you that, they would be out of business. Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, they want you to think that salvation is after this life. So don't worry if you've got a kind of a shitty little life here, and we've got all this, like we live in palaces and all this stuff, got gold stuff, and you've got your little peasant life. Just, it's all about the afterlife, okay? So don't worry about this life. Don't worry about now. It's all about later, heaven, going there, which is not here. So just be happy, be pacified while we live in our palaces, okay? It's a great scheme. T Street says, LOL, unfiltered Lucky Strikes. Was this in the 70s? No, it was in the early 2000s, or it was in the 2000s. I know. Crazy. I know. It was hard to find, so I'd buy like a carton when I found them. But I would use an old Zippo lighter. Ptink. Even still, now when I hear that ptink of the Zippo lighter, I get a little shiver. Like, whoa. Whoa. So, and it wasn't just those little things that I made. I mean, I literally, it was the focus of my life. I was fortunate enough that I didn't have to work immediately. So, I had a little bit of money left over from the whole thing. And so I was able to focus 100% of my time and efforts on getting as healthy as possible, as quickly as possible. And, well, here we are. So, yes, I agree, Graham. They're all actors, including the presidents. Yes, absolutely. They are figureheads. It is all just smoke and mirrors. Television programming, yes, it tells you a vision. I read the book a long time ago, Distant Visions by Philo Farnsworth. And well, it was actually about the wife of Philo Farnsworth, who is the inventor, credited with inventing the television, which he didn't actually really invent it. He mainstreamed it, though. He advanced the technology, but he would not let his children watch it because he understood the power of it. So it was by the wife of Philo Farnsworth. I forget, it was many years ago now, but it's a good book. It's real thick. Yes. Okay. Yes. Gratefulness and forgiveness are the keys to awareness. Yes. Andre says, for me, music is a great part of my life. I feel amazing when I listen to the music I love. It makes my day better and easier somehow. Yes. Good. It's, that's good. I don't know what kind of music that is that you're talking about, but I'm into kettlebell training, of course, and so when I follow people on Instagram that are into kettlebell training, and without fail, almost every single one of them, when they post their little workouts that they do, they've got this death metal, the double bass drum, and it's just like, and just all this chaos. And they're working out in that. And I'm thinking, my God, imagine the mental state of someone like that. That's a reflection of their inner state. There's that much chaos and angst and aggression and all of the things that kind of horrendous, heinous music elicits in a person. Where in nature do we hear that kind of music? Or anything with that kind of energy towards it? Pure hatred and aggression. That has to resonate. For anyone to like that, that has to resonate with an inner state that they already feel. And that will just amplify it even more. You have to cut it all off. Now, I want to be very clear. I'm not saying that don't listen to music by any means whatsoever. I listen to music all the time. Mostly at this point, though, frequencies and melodies, classical music, really nothing with words in it, except selectively. Anything with a word in it, I will selectively listen to, like some old school country music. It reminds me of my old life a little bit. I still like some George Jones, sometimes some Gary Stewart. I still like some of that occasionally. Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn. Oh man. So occasionally I will still listen to that, but I will consciously listen to it and let it take me away. Let it elicit the feeling that it's supposed to elicit. And I can play with that feeling with full awareness. And listen, wow, it's amazing. It transports you to a whole different experience. Wow. And then when it's done, right back to where I always was, perfectly aware. And then it's over. So I don't just let it carry on playing in the background, all these storylines going right into my subconscious. No. So Taita says, I write gratitude and aspirations on my mirrors with dry erase or Sharpie markers, removed with rubbing alcohol. Sharpie from a mirror. Yeah. I love Post-its too. They are all over inside my kitchen cabinets. Yes. What's important is that you repeat it. So whatever the goal is, you have to repeat it. Okay. So mine, I didn't really know what it was. So I made grateful or gratitude things at first, but then I made confidence ones, and I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds like that old Saturday Night Live skit, and people like me, and darn it, I'm good enough. Who was that? Do you remember that? Stuart Smalley, I think, but it's actually like that. I had to at that time because I was just a shell. I was just a mess. And so I had to, you know, remind myself of my worthiness because I felt very unworthy at that time in life. I had lost my worthiness for sure. And so I had to reprogram that into myself. And also I had to reprogram motivation. I had pure apathy about everything. Who cares? Had to reprogram all of that. And so I would write things out, but the having it in many different locations is ideal because when you see it, read it. So you say it to yourself in your mind. Thankful, grateful, blessed. Just write that. Thankful, grateful, blessed. Thankful, grateful, blessed. And put it all over the place. And every time you look at it, thankful, grateful, blessed. And that it is literally that easy. If you do it with enough intensity and enough repetition, you will then see that life will bring to you situations to confirm thankful, grateful, blessed. It will bring to you situations in which you are confirms, I am grateful. Wow. It will bring things into your life to be grateful about. This is how it works. It's that easy. Yes, Miss Casey. Hey, how's that master cleanse going? Religion wants us to believe we are deficient and need something outside of ourselves to be whole. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely it does. I mean, you're right out of the gate. You're imperfect, you're filthy, you're nah. But we hold the salvation. Well, actually, salvation's out there, but we are the middleman. Okay? So come to us for your salvation. Yes. Yes, Pam. Heaven to me is a state of mind, the same as you make your own hell. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, heaven is right here. We are already in heaven. And the awakening process, if it's anything, it's just showing you this. You are already in heaven and that there is no hell other than the hell that you create for yourself, other than the hell. Yes, Brian says the good old days. If I was able to go back and look, I would be sad. The only good thing of that time are with me now. Yes, definitely. Oh yeah, man, when my last few years on the mountains and stuff, I knew somehow that YouTube, that I was supposed to be like a content creator, even though I didn't know what any of that stuff was. And I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I just felt the drive to do it. And so I have a bunch of videos of me in that time, just a mess, just filthy. Because during the growing season, the creek dried up and I would have no running water. I would go weeks without showering. I had filth all over my face, growing huge, just crazy. Okay. In my Jeep, just looking like Mad Max. Literally, the videos look like just Mad Max. And I see that deep hurt, and I see that just overwhelming anxiety and dread that was in that person's mind. And so I can't even watch those things. I cannot even watch why? I mean, because it's just too much. And so it took me a long time to be comfortable in front of a camera, to be comfortable, because you have to be comfortable with yourself. It took me a long time to not, oh, that's how I sound. Why am I talking like that? Why am I looking like that? Oh, I shouldn't have said that. All that stuff had to go by the wayside. And it does once you unconditionally love yourself and you know that you're worthy of this. you've convinced you understand to yourself that you're worthy. Once that happens, nothing else matters. Yes, definitely, B. Hendricks. Remind myself of my own worthiness. Yes, this is, and you will see when you study human psychology and then live the psychology, everything boils down to a drive to the question, am I worthy or not? And very few people actually understand and believe that they are worthy. And so you will see so many things in people's, so many behaviors that don't make any sense until you understand that their deep-rooted belief is that they are unworthy. So, Andre says, I believe that if you write down all the things you are grateful and things you want to have and achieve through visualization and meditation, it will come to you often without being aware of. Absolutely. Yes, it will come to you without being aware of, and definitely not necessarily in the way that you think it will. So that's one of the things that many people, a hang up that they get is that they think that, okay, here's my goal or here's my visualization. Now I have to think and plan out every single step along the way, and it has to happen like this. And if they don't see it happening that way, then it's not happening. That's not the case. You have no idea the complexity of the universe and the perfection of the universe, in the sense that you, from the limited perspective of a human mind, is how we would view these things. But in the totality, it all exists now already. And so that's very difficult for the human mind to understand. The closest we can come is, say I have a book right here, okay? So I have a book, okay? Here's a book, a big story. It's all here now. The whole story is all here now. But the human brain, the human mind, because of its limitations, can only access that story one page at a time, and actually one word at a time. Even though it's all here now, in the now, at once, here it is. In order to access the information, the human mind has to make it appear like there's a chronology to it. So the thing is that we need to, the what is what you focus on, not the how. The how will take care of itself, oftentimes by ways that you didn't even think possible, that you didn't even think of. You'll be inspired to do a certain thing, or a certain person will come into your life, or you'll sign up for a class that you, I don't know, just I'm compelled to do it, and everything changes after that. It brings you closer to the goal, yeah, but not by the means that you thought it would be, yeah. Yes. Yeah, Karma says, never before have we had this much energy needs and have amateurs trying to make devices that make clean energy. Understandably, but all that energy is beyond naturally found in nature and grounded into the earth. Yeah, man, we got into that heavily on the Saturday live stream on the Garden Like a Viking channel about my thoughts on clean energy. That would be a great energy, would be a great topic for a future discussion. Yeah. So, okay, guys, this has been a great one. I really appreciate it. So hopefully you know now some practices that you can do. You just got to do it. You already have all the tools. Meditate daily, make the affirmation stuff, even for fine-tuning your life. You know, you don't have to make, if you want to make radical changes like I did, you have to go radical. But if you want smaller changes, then you still need to use the same tools to just fine-tune the sails in your life. Yeah. Okay, my friends. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. This is literally true, my friends. You are being guided. There's nothing you have to do. It's effortless.